So this is the clarinet. As you can see, it comes in 5 pieces. So we have the mouthpiece, the barrel, this is the upper joint, the lower joint, and the bell. Don't worry about remembering the name of them for the moment. So I'll just take the mouthpiece out, and it's got a little cap on it. If you just take the cap off, it just pulls off, and this is called a ligature. Just pull that off as well, like that. Next piece we need is this one. It's called the barrel. We just push the barrel and the mouthpiece together. Whoop, that's the school bell. Push it together like this, where it's nice and tight. Just push and twist. That way it's too loose, so it's going to be this way. If it's too tight to push together, there's a little bit of cork grease in the case, and you just put a tiny bit of cork grease on there, only a tiny bit. Don't put too much on, because it'll make a mess, and that will make it a lot easier. After you put the mouthpiece and barrel together, we need to get the nearest piece in the case, so the piece that's nearest the handle. You see it's the one with cork at both ends, like this. So we're going to grab that piece. It's called the upper joint. If you rotate it like a kebab in a kebab shop, you'll notice there's lots of metal work on this side, but there's not much metal work on this side. There's just one hole all on its own and a long key. We need to be holding it this way up. That's the correct way up, so that this looks like an exclamation mark and it's pointing up to the ceiling. If you have it this way up, you've got it upside down, it looks like a letter I. You hold it underneath the exclamation mark, tight grip, and we put the mouthpiece on and the barrel so that the exclamation mark is pointing to the mouthpiece. This is actually called a register key, so I'll try to remember to refer to it as a register key from now on. So the register key should point to the mouthpiece. So we're just going to twist and push. Again, a little bit of cork grease if you have trouble. There's a window, a hole, or a window, square hole, at the top in the mouthpiece. You can see that's where the air is going to go in. The window must be lined up with the register key, so that would be incorrect. And now if I do this, I'll just look down it to make sure it's lined up, and you can see that's pointing nicely and lined up now. I don't know if you can see that. Now next is putting the lower joint on. So the lower joint is the larger of the 5 pieces. It's this one here. Now before we put that on, I need to show you something. You'll notice at the bottom of this joint, the upper joint, there's a piece of metal sticking out over the cork. And if you notice, I can actually lift it up and down like this. And it looks a bit like aeroplane wings. That has a corresponding piece on the other joint, which I'll just show you now. So if I get the other joint, there's the corresponding piece. You can see it's got a little square cut out of it there. There it is. And this is going to go underneath the aeroplane wings. Now before you do that, we need to make sure that the aeroplane wings are lifted up out of the way, because we don't want them hitting the corresponding piece. So to do that, you can actually press the rings at the front. If you're not sure which ring it is, just experiment until you find the one that lifts it. What I do is I put my hand underneath the exclamation mark, the register key, tight grip all the way around, and then you can be sure that you're pressing it down. You can see there that I'm lifting the aeroplane wings up nicely. So keep them up. This piece needs to be this way up, like traffic lights. There's your traffic lights. Wrong way up. Traffic lights at the top of the pole, and there's the corresponding piece at the top. So I'm just going to line them up. Now I'm not going to push together straight away. I'm just checking that they are definitely lined up and they're not going to hit each other, and then just little twists, pushing gently until they're completely lined up like this. Okay? You must do little twists. If you do big twists, this will hit the aeroplane wings and break them. Again, if you do a big twist that way, these keys are going to hit those keys and break them. So no more than 1 centimetre each way. Just twist and push a little bit. And there we go. When we're putting the bell on, we hold the lower joint so it doesn't move, and you just simply push it on. If it's stiff, a little bit of cork grease. Do not hold the upper joint when you do this, because if you do, that will move. So to stop it moving, because you've just spent ages getting that right, hold the lower joint when you put the bottom bit on, and it shouldn't move. And there you go, it's all assembled. Now when we're taking it apart, we basically do it in reverse order. So we'll grab the lower joint and take the bell off just by pulling and twisting like this, and put it back in the case. And then to do the middle connection where the two corresponding pieces are, I put my left hand under the top one and my right hand over the bottom one like this, and then I'm constantly looking at the aeroplane wings, making sure that they're pushed up by my left hand, and do little twists, no more than 1 centimetre each way, until it comes apart. Remember, little twists, very important, otherwise you'll break it. That goes back in the case. Keep hold of it like this, grab the barrel and pull that off. This turns round to put back in the case, and then a simple matter of just pulling these two apart like this. The ligature just drops back onto the mouthpiece. You have to get it the right way up, that way won't go on, that way will. You don't need to do the screws up, and we'll just put the cap back on like that, and there we go. So I hope that's been really helpful. I look forward to seeing how well you're going to do in your lessons over the next few weeks, and here's some fantastic tunes for and that's my pupil who's dropped her clarinet. I hope that's okay. Is it all right?
Luckily.
Please don't do that. Thanks a lot.
Sorry.